My fifth video about the MonsterAdapter LA-FE2 is waiting for you right here. Hi guys, it's that time again. Join me as I test the Nikkor AF-S 18 to 35mm super wide-angle zoom lens for APS-C and full-frame cameras. For this test I attached the lens to my Sony A7rIV with the MonsterAdapter LA-FE2. If you've seen one or more of the videos about the adapter, you'll know that I'm not happy with the autofocus performance of some screw drive lenses. Unfortunately, MonsterAdapter has not yet released a new firmware. The current firmware is 2, so the well-known problems with some screw drive lenses still exist. But hey, today I'm adapting a Nikkor lens with a built-in SWM drive that should work without any problems, right? The AF-S 18 to 35mm tested here is the revised version of the original AF-D 18 to 35mm from the year 2000. Of course, you can also use this lens on any Nikon digital SLR camera or with an adapter on the Z-mount. Everything works perfectly on every digital Nikon ever made. It is also perfect for SLR AF film cameras such as the F6, F100, F5, N80, and N75. There are no limitations with these models. But how does this look on my Sony A7rIV? The good news first, everything works as it should. All of the camera's automatic functions are supported. The camera's internal IBIS works perfectly and a 3.6 to 4.5 18 to 35mm lens was recognized in Lightroom. However, I had to select the profile for correcting aberrations manually. The autofocus, on the other hand, caused problems. Although this only affected situations with less ambient light, such as in rooms with average lighting, it is still annoying. The autofocus speed is also below average. Too bad. When will there finally be another firmware update? As you can see, attaching the lens to the adapter is completely straightforward. Please attach the lens to the adapter when it is not mounted on your camera. Furthermore, only remove the adapter from the camera or attach it when your camera is switched off. This will prevent any electronic defects that may otherwise occur. I would like to give you a few technical details about the lens. The lens was presented in January 2013. As announced at the time, the first units were put into the hands of photographers on March 19, 2013. The 18 to 35 consists of 12 elements arranged in 8 groups. 2 of these elements are ED elements, 3 others are aspherical. The lens is multi-coated, which Nikon calls Nikon Super Integrated Coating. It has 7 rounded blades and can be stopped down to aperture 22 or 29 depending on the set focal length. The focusing distance is up to 0.28 meters from the image plane, so the maximum magnification is 1 to 5 or 0.2. Nikon specifies a diameter of 83 mm and a length of 95 mm. Its weight is 385 grams. Screw-in filters with a 77mm thread can be used. The filter thread of the lens is made of plastic. A focus scale without depth of field scale is available. An infrared index and an aperture ring are missing. The aperture must be controlled via the camera. The bayonet is made of metal, otherwise plastic is predominantly used. The build quality is good. Of course it does not come close to professional lenses, but if you are looking for a lightweight super wide-angle zoom that costs around €300 secondhand, you will find what you are looking for here. But what about the optical quality? First, as always, I would like to show you raw files. At the end of the video you'll see the final developed images. The first pictures shown here were taken with a focal length of 18 mm. As expected, the sharpness performance at open aperture is weak in the corners, although the image center is a positive surprise. Stopping down to aperture 5.6 already increases the sharpness performance considerably. The same applies to apertures 6.3 and 9. The best sharpness performance is achieved at f11. Even at 18 mm, the lens delivers good performance on a 61 million pixel camera. I would not have expected that. The lens is also convincing at 24mm and aperture 11. Only with strong light sources in the image is the imaging performance in this image area weaker. This applies to all focal lengths. The focal length of 28mm can be used without hesitation at f8 with very good results. After viewing my pictures with this lens, I generally recommend shooting in the aperture range from f8 to f11. This gives you the best image quality. Since this lens is mostly used for landscape or, as here, architectural photography and is usually always stopped down for such photo subjects, using f8 or f11 for the best possible optical quality is not a negative characteristic. This picture was taken with a focal length of 35mm at f8. And it impressed me in terms of sharpness performance right into the corners. I was surprised at how well this lens performed on my 61 million pixel camera. A weak point of the lens is its pronounced susceptibility to stray light. This applies to all focal lengths. Unfortunately, using the lens hood does not help. I couldn't see any difference in my tests regardless of whether I used the lens hood or not. The stray light problem was always the same. What a pity! As expected, the lens distorts at all focal lengths. You can see clear barrel distortion here, especially at 18 and 24mm. However, the distortion is not excessive for this type of lens and is fortunately easy to eliminate in image processing. I use Lightroom to develop my raw files. A lens profile is available here. It significantly reduces optical aberrations such as vignetting, distortion, and chromatic aberration. This test series with images from 18, 24, 28, and 35mm illustrates this well. I hope you enjoyed my presentation of the lens. Please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It costs you nothing and you would help me to continue to fill this channel with life for you. Thank you very much for that. But now I'll show you the developed photos as promised. Thank you very much for your time and interest. Stay healthy and see you in the next of my videos.